Ever since the Enclave were first introduced in Fallout 2, we've always been told they're the bad guys. And ever since Fallout 2, the Enclave have failed in their mission. But why? They had the best technology and they know how to use it. They had the best soldiers. But maybe that's not what mattered. Maybe the problem is the leadership. Now, you should probably watch Shoddycast's video on whether the Enclave is really evil in Fallout 3, because I'll be going over a few things they do, and it's just a good video to watch anyway. Now, back to my video. When you really look at the Enclave in Fallout 2, it seems apparent that Interplay wanted the post-war Enclave to mirror the pre-war America, with the rich and the powerful having so much control over the country, and putting their wants so far above the needs of everyone else, they ended up leading the world to near extinction. In every game, the Enclave is led to defeat by their self-absorbed leaders. In Fallout 2, the President Dick Richardson, yes, that is his actual name, continues the ideology of his predecessors that the Enclave are the only ones fit to inhabit the remains of America, and that everyone else is a mutant and therefore must be eradicated. This means the Enclave never recruited outsiders and kept their very small numbers. And on top of this, Dick Richardson wanted to use a modified FEV virus to kill all the people on the mainland. And because of this, the Chosen One has to destroy Control Station Enclave to prevent them using it. But before the Chosen One fights the last boss in the game, Frank Horrigan, he can convince Enclave Control Company to help him kill Frank and escape. The squad leader, Sergeant Granite, will even state that he's tired of the killing. Then, in New Vegas, we meet the Enclave Remnants, a group consisting of retired Enclave members, and they tell us that there were good people in the Enclave, and none of the Remnants seem to have anything against mutated people either. Even Moreno, who seems to be the most bitter about the Enclave's defeat, really only dislikes the NCR because they destroyed the majority of the remaining Enclave after the destruction of Control Station Enclave. Even in Fallout 3, where every member of the Enclave is hostile towards the Lone Wanderer, the leadership is still to blame. After Colonel Autumn captured the Lone Wanderer, the new president, John Henry Eden, releases the Lone Wanderer and invites him up to talk with him. Now, Colonel Autumn believed that the people of the Capital Wasteland needed help and wanted to control the water purifier to ensure that the people there would have clean drinking water. But Eden wanted to put a modified version of the FEV virus into the water, the same version of the virus that the Enclave tried to use to kill everyone 40 years prior. Autumn had already argued with Eden about this, and it seemed like Eden had been talked out of it. But when Autumn heard that Eden wanted to talk with the Lone Wanderer, he knew that Eden would try to make the Lone Wanderer deposit the virus into the water supply. At this point, Autumn ordered all his men to stop the Lone Wanderer and destroy Eden. After it was apparent that neither of these objectives could be completed, the Enclave forces at Raven Rock headed to the Purifier. Meanwhile, the Lone Wanderer, the very same Lone Wanderer that was at the mercy of Colonel Autumn, but had been released by Eden, regrouped with the Brotherhood of Steel and prepared for an all-out assault against the water purifier and the Enclave. This assault would mark the end of Autumn's plans to control the water purifier and have the Enclave retake the capital. And depending on the player's decisions, it may mark the end of Autumn himself. Last is Fallout 76. A lot of you probably don't know the story of this very well, so to start, The White Springs bunker was a bunker reserved for the VIPs in the region of Appalachia in the event of nuclear war. Although a lot of the cabinet members' automated alarms didn't seem to have gone off, so the command fell to the highest ranking member inside the bunker, and that was the Secretary of the Treasury. But shortly after he was found dead, Thomas Eckert, the Secretary of Agriculture, had killed him, although he lied about it and said he died from radiation poisoning. The next thing Eckert did now that he held power was get everyone in the same room and vote whether or not they should continue the war with China. The majority of the members in the bunker, including at least 3 generals, sided against continuing the war, while only 48 with 1 general sided with continuing the war. After everyone had voted, Eckert had the pro-war voters follow him out of the room. Then he had the room gassed with all the anti-war voters still in it. Not long after this happened, a US Army unit led by Colonel Ellen Santiago made it from the remains of Washington, D.C. to the White Springs bunker. Eckert, wanting more troops after so many had been gassed, gladly let them into the bunker. At this point, Eckert's plan to launch a nuke at China had been set in motion, but the biggest obstacle in the way of this plan was the automation of the region. Because the system to launch nuclear missiles was almost completely automated, it had to register a threat level of DEFCON 1. The way Eckert solved this problem is pretty much the reason for every enemy there is in Follett 76 being there. The Liberators? Yep, he ordered the secret Chinese facility in Mama Dolce's to be activated to produce them. Super mutants? Yep, Eckert ordered the facilities at West Tech to be brought online to create more super mutants. The Scorched? The entire reason for everyone in Fallout 76 being dead? Eckert again. The scientists working at the glass caverns accidentally exposed bats to ultrasight and created scorch beasts. One of the scientists told Eckert about these scorch beasts, and even explained they could pose an extinction-level threat. Eckert simply asked whether more of them could be produced. After all this, and now General Santiago refused to continue with what Eckert was doing, because it was endangering the people of Appalachia. Eckert's response to this was to knock her out and sedate her. The only reason he didn't kill her was because he still needed Santiago for his plan. But while Santiago was sedated, her men, and even some of Eckert's men, started a rebellion against him. They woke Santiago up and succeeded in taking Eckert down. But according to the recordings in the bunker, there was an explosion in the weapons lab that killed Santiago and caused a gas leak, which in turn spread through the entire White Springs bunker and killed every single member of the Enclave, including Eckert. That's the story of the Enclave in every Fallout game. And it's clear when you look at them that the Enclave have always been doomed by their leaders, and that the people who are a part of the Enclave often don't even agree with their leaders most of the time anyway. And I find it extremely disappointing that we haven't really seen the Enclave in about 10 years. And I'm sure a lot of other people, hope that the Enclave do return to the Fallout series in some way in the future. But until that day, this has been why the Enclave always fails.
And my imagination will make that moment live. what you